and welcome to Verdictum. I am Ananya Singh and you're watching today's legal news, where we apprise you with the recent important legal developments across the country. Here are the headlines. UPSC candidates cannot claim EWS reservation if certificate not submitted before cutoff date, holds Supreme Court. Supreme Court refuses to entertain plea by Delhi Congress for fresh first-level check of EVMs. Supreme Court closes proceedings against makers of Adipurush in different high courts, calls it a futile exercise. Supreme Court hears former Delhi Minister Satyendar Jain's bail plea today. NGT seeks action taken report from UP Chief Secretary regarding the Yamuna pollution in Mathura Vrindavan. GST Council announces the ceding of right to levy tax on extra neutral alcohol to state governments. Now let's take a detailed look on the headlines. The Supreme Court's decision with regards claiming the economically weaker section reservation today led to disappointment of many UPSC candidates after a bench of Justice J.K. Maheshwari and Justice K.V. Vishwanathan dismissed 3 writ petitions filed by the candidates. The 3 petitions were filed against the Union Public Service Commission for treating the candidates as belonging to general category, for not submitting the EWS quota certificates in the prescribed format and before the cutoff date of the Civil Services examination for the year 2022. The top court ruled in favor of UPSC and said that the commission was justified in rejecting the claim of candidates for being treated under the EWS quota, as the candidates failed to furnish the requisite certificates before the cutoff date. The court further held that any candidate not in possession of the income and asset certificates in the prescribed format cannot claim the benefit of the EWS category. The judgment in the case was reserved on September 5th and was pronounced today. The Supreme Court today refused to entertain a plea filed by the Delhi Congress, seeking a fresh first-level checking of electronic voting machines ahead of upcoming general elections. The Congress party in Delhi challenged the conduct of the State Election Commission in relation to the first-level checking of EVMs. The apex court said that the process is detailed and parties have faith in it, and it is replicated across the nation. Notably, the FLC is conducted by the Election Commission in a phased manner, and EVMs as well as VVPAT, the paper trail machines, are checked for mechanical flaws. Mock polls are also a part of the process, which is held in the presence of the representatives of political parties. The Supreme Court today closed cases against the makers of film Adipurush, filed before different high courts across the country. A bench comprising Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia called the proceedings a futile exercise. Justice Kaul said, "All these matters must close now. These are unnecessary proceedings before the high courts." The filmmakers were criticized for the poor representation of Valmiki Ramayana, and many cases for hurting the religious sentiments were filed throughout the nation. This led to certain modifications in the dialogues and scenes of the film as well. In July this year, the apex court stayed orders and proceedings against the filmmakers and also dismissed a petition seeking the revocation of the certificate granted to the movie by the Central Board of Film Certification. This also includes the order of the Allahabad High Court that summoned the filmmakers and said that the religious icons were shown in a shameful and disgusting manner in the film. The top court today closed all cases after noting that the film was released after obtaining the certification required. A 2-judge bench of the Supreme Court comprising Justice A.S. Bopanna and Justice Bela M. Trivedi today continued hearing the petition of the former Delhi Minister and Aam Aadmi Party leader Satyendar Jain and his co-accused Ankush Jain in the money laundering case. The court reconsidered Jain's bail plea as the term of the interim bail granted to him on September 25th ended today. The Enforcement Directorate arrested Jain on May 30th last year for money laundering through 4 companies linked to him. The ED made the arrest on the basis of an FIR registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation in 2017 under the Prevention of Corruption Act. After his arrest, Jain has been granted bail several times. First on May 26 for a spinal surgery, then on September 12th, and a third time on September 25th. The National Green Tribunal has directed the Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh government to submit an action taken report within 6 weeks in the pollution of the Yamuna River in Mathura and Vrindavan. The matter relates to the untreated sewage being discharged in the area. The petition before the tribunal alleged that there are 36 drains in the Mathura Vrindavan area, of which 6 discharge sewage into the Yamuna, leading to the deterioration of the water quality and rendering the water unfit for the sustenance of life of any being. Previously, on April 11th, an order was passed by a bench of the chairperson of NGT, Justice Prakash Srivastav, directing the UP Chief Secretary to take remedial action and to identify the untapped drains and diverting the same to sewage treatment plants, and directed the authorities to file an action taken report within 4 months. A report by the UP Pollution Control Board was submitted on August 10th, which highlighted that an environmental compensation of Rs 3.25 crores was imposed upon the City Commissioner of Mathura Vrindavan. The tribunal said that no action taken report was filed on behalf of the Chief Secretary of the state, and some other directions passed by the tribunal were also not fully complied with. And in the background of the aforesaid fact, the tribunal directed the submission of the action taken report. In a bid to promote healthy center-state relations, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman made the announcement that the Goods and Services Tax Council will be ceding its right to levy tax on extra neutral alcohol upon the state governments. Notably, ENA is raw alcohol that is used to make alcohol fit to be consumed by humans. The Finance Minister explained that in a recent ruling by the Allahabad High Court, it was held that states had no power to impose tax on ENA, and this was solely the domain of the GST Council and the Union Government. However, the GST Council has decided to cede the right in favor of the states. Ms. Sitharaman also informed that the GST code will be amended to create a separate category for alcohol or spirit for industrial use, which will attract 18% GST. That was all on today's legal news. Thank you and keep watching Verdictum, and subscribe to our channel and download the Verdictum app on iOS and Android to keep yourself updated with authentic legal news.